Welcome, everyone, to the global gathering Shamanism for Inspired Action From Vision to Creation. This event is designed to share how shamanism can inspire actions and enrich our lives, our communities, and Mother Earth with deep love, compassion, gratitude, and joy. Shamans are the torchbearers of their inner light, taking actions motivated by a deep sense of purpose. Shamanism is a way to tap into creative inspiration that comes from within, the spirit that we are, that will lead us to take authentic steps towards what our hearts and souls desire most. So, we will discuss what's possible when the invisible realms are acknowledged and honored, when nature is loved and celebrated as a part of ourselves. We'll explore how surrendering to our helping spirit, to our ancestors, can help support our action. Shamanism provides a space to deepen our inner knowledge so that new ideas, new thoughts, and pathways can emerge. So, in a time when it can be tempting to define ourselves solely through external concepts, your participation at this global gathering will inspire you to reconnect with your inner wisdom and to act in alignment with your spiritual source. So, it is with gratitude and great joy that a great joy that I welcome everyone to be part of this global gathering. I'm Celine Roche, I'm your host for this event, and today I'm very happy to introduce you to Eimear Stassin. Eimear, thank you so much for being with us. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank
And
you.
you're so welcome. And for the people who don't know about you yet, I'm going to give a few words about your beautiful experience. And so, Eimear, your Senekai, I may pronounce this wrong. Please say the word again for me.
Shanaki. Shanaki.
Shanaki.
It's a hard one.
Shanaki. So you're an Irish storyteller, a spoken word orator, and the the likes of which we've not seen in a long time. So that's why we're very excited to have you here today. One of the main reasons. And through your evolving work, you've carried on the tradition of both your matrilineal and patrilineal Irish lineages, as story weaver, poet, and crafter of the true lore. And with your hypnotic voice, your words cast healing spells infused with elemental Irish gold. So your sacred stories are activated and animated through your own healing journey. So you guide people on your healing journey home, on their healing journey home. And your mission is to walk the sacred lands to which you feel called, to activate the true stories rooted in the landscape, and equally as important, to share these stories. So you invite people to journey deep into their inner landscape, to remember the story of their precious soul. So your mission is to heal the rift that keeps humanity separated from each other and from our inner truth. So to heal the trauma out and within in order to access divine truth. You support the ascension of humanity into and back home to New Earth. And you hold the torch for divine peace, equilibrium, and harmony to reign as our ancient gifts. Um, and so we can all come back to our home and online. So you lead the way for people to come home as a voice for Ireland, Eru. Do I pronounce correctly? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eimear, you're from Dublin, Ireland, and you live in Falkirk in Scotland with your husband, 3 children, and a border collie, Pup Riley. I think you have maybe some company here by
He's
you.
right here, sleeping by my side now.
Very welcome. They're very welcome. And today you're going to talk about activating the Irish shaman in me. So
Mm.
first of all, yes, it's beautiful, beautiful topic that I'm so excited to share with you and everyone listening today. So, what led you to your Irish shaman activation?
Mm. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for the beautiful introduction and for creating this event. Like every word you spoke in the introduction just gives me tingles, and it's so needed right now. So the Irish shaman in me. I guess one of the starting points, like I grew up in Ireland, I moved to Scotland in the year 2000 after traveling the world, going round the world. And maybe that was part of the journey of encircling the globe and connecting with all these different lands and cultures and energies. And then it actually is when I moved to Scotland. So I've lived in Scotland for 24 years. So more, it's pretty much 50-50 actually at this time of how long I was in Ireland and how long I've been in Scotland. And growing up, I guess, well, for me anyway, I take it for granted, like what being Irish actually is, and the mythology, the Irish language, the culture, the Irish eccentric ways. In some ways, it's all part of who I am as Eimear now. Even my name is I'm named after a mythological character, and so are my siblings. We're all named after characters in Irish mythology. And really, it was when I stepped out of my corporate career in 2017, that was kind of one of the starting points of exploring who am I now? Who am I now that I don't have this corporate career to latch onto as part of my identity? Who am I in this new entrepreneurial world, where I'm still finding my feet, or was back then? And I was gradually, and I keep doing this movement of the circular spiral movement, I was being called home more and more to go back to Ireland and learn about the culture now as the adult that I am, and to feel and allow the stories and the land and the sacred sites and the energies of Ireland to move me, to move through me, and then express that through poetry, through storytelling, and really allowing it to open my heart, to open my heart to who I am becoming, in a way to, yeah, to allow the goodness back in. So if you'd asked me back then, like whether I'd be, I'd be talking about the Irish shaman in me, I probably would have laughed and thought that was ridiculous. But now I understand the importance of, I call myself the Shanachie, the ancient storyteller, which is very similar to the shaman as the healer, the wise one, the one who weaves the stories for now and for the future. And in a roundabout way, that's who I very much, and what I very much connect with now, are these indigenous, earth-based ways that I feel humanity is being called to connect and return to. So a bit of a long-winded answer to the beginnings of the journey of the awakening of the Irish shaman in me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for giving, sharing your journey with us. It's very generous of you. Thank you so much. And how did this lead you through a transformational portal, if I can say?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I actually went to study. I did a weekend course last year, last January 2023, and it was on shamanism and the path to the heart. And it was in Scotland, and it awakened something within me. It was like it would awaken this shaman song within me that had been forgotten or suppressed. And I felt this deep connection with the spirit of the land. And it was like the spirit of the land was calling out to come dance with me. Spirit of the land, come dance with me, and all the elementals in that as well. So ultimately, it was like, again, it was like the land began speaking with me once I was allowing this open heart and my ears and eyes to begin to hear and see and feel in new ways. And I feel like I must go back to 2020 as well, because that was a key moment for me. It was my witch awakening on the Lionsgate in 2020. And that was probably another one of the beginnings of this deepening journey for me into the truth of who I am. And ultimately now, as witch has become so much more integrated within me, it was activating this wise one and freeing this voice within me, this voice of truth, of my truth now in every moment. So it was different back then to how it is now, in front of you, energetically connecting and speaking in front of your audience that are gathering for this summit. So it was like these key moments and activations were helping to heal the wounds within me and free the voice of what wanted to be shared.
I like that you talk about movement. I really
Mm.
appreciate that because when we receive, the vision, when we receive the wisdom, there is something in our body that occurs, right? This movement, like the movement of inspiration. So I'm really glad you mentioned that because that's something that moved you to speak your truth.
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned in your introduction the torch, like being
mm,
the torch bearers, the torch holder. And
mm,
that's what it awakened within me as well, was suddenly that realization of, oh my goodness, I've been searching and trying to figure out who am I? Who am I? And a lot of times I can roll in on different courses or which have been really useful and helpful along the way. And it was actually back in January, February last year again, where Bridget stepped forward. So
mm,
I'd gone through this whole awakening journey of the witches and walking with the different witches and it bringing me home to Ireland and the Celtic medicine wheel. And Bridget stepped forward as this ancient goddess of the Celtic lands, including like Ireland, Wales, Scotland, France, these Celtic lands. And
mm,
she was holding her flame for me, a flame that she had held for eons. And
mm,
she was stepping forth in this vision, shamanic vision that I had, and going, now I hand this flame to you, dear child, for you are one of the torch holders now to guide us to
mm.
peace,
Yeah,
to new earth.
yeah. And how do you express that? So can you give us some example of how do you bring this into being?
Yeah. So in that moment, it was bringing it into being through poetry, through storytelling, and also in the courses, like similar to yourself, the online summits or programs that I create to gather people to lead in new ways and to
Mm,
be brave in that way. Um, so yeah, I guess when we speak the words and share them through poetry or sing the songs that come through, we're
mhm,
sending that vibration out into the world and inviting those who wish to learn from us or from me to gather and learn. Um, and through that, we're creating these ripples collectively
yeah,
that are it's like doing the work for us, really.
yeah.
Oh, so yeah, in that time when Bridget came to me, it was like a big long transmission came through, a poem, a little book, and still when I connect with that energy, I can feel the power of her still presence holding the flame,
Mm,
and that helps me remember that stillness too.
yeah. And could you tell us a little bit about what's unique about Irish shamanism?
Yeah, yeah. So Ireland, like there's so much ancient mythology as there are in all indigenous cultures. The stories are there. And going back, like the Tuatha Dé Danann are this ancient group of, well, it's written into our mythology. It's ingrained and imprinted in the land of Ireland and the sacred sites in the ley lines. The Tuatha Dé Danann are a tribe who are the tribe of the gods, and they are these ancient deities who came to Ireland eons ago. There isn't really a date for when they came to Ireland, but they consist of different gods and goddesses that hold particular archetypal energies. When we connect with them, they awaken that energy within us. So it could be very simple. And the shaman or the Shanachie or the ancient storyteller, they were the ones who, there were Irish mystery schools of
Mhm.
old, and they were the ones who would learn the lore, the Lore, the lore, the stories, which became the law in the land of Ireland, of ancient Ireland. And they would learn extensive stories and passages. They would learn them off by heart so that they would be able to recite these stories as the law in any moment. So it's very much part of the ancient culture and also part of the psyche now in these days, because if anyone goes to Ireland, oh, there's always stories to be shared, and it's very much part of the culture and how we are. And I know for some, like if you ask for directions or you go into a shop, like there's always a story before you're given the directions. So for some that might be irritating or annoying, and for others it's like it allows you to sink into this sacred space of connection between people and presence, because that's the story, it's the portal to presence as well in that moment of connection. So I feel the Irish shaman is very much um, interwoven throughout our culture, in who we are, through the mythology and the ancient stories, through the lore which became the Breton law of old, um, through this beautiful system of living in communion with the land, with the trees, with the animals, with the beings, and with nature. And there were even laws of, like, if damage was done to a tree in ancient Ireland, there would be certain honor prices that would need to be paid, like in the form of cattle or cows and things like that. So it was very much about not being cast out from the community. The shamanic way was that we're all part of this community and we'll all support each other no matter what happens. So yeah, I hope that explains how interwoven and imprinted in the landscape these ways are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really like what you said about, um, making those connection, allowing those connection and for something to take place, as communication is being established through a story, something that we share. And I think this is really at the core of the work, right? It's really at the core to allow this um, good relationship between people.
Yes, yes, and it reminds me of, so there we do have a president in Ireland who is non-political
Mhm.
and as a representative of the state, and our current president is Michael D. Higgins, and he himself, I believe, is a Shanachie and is a shaman, is an Irish shaman, because he is a poet. And when he speaks, it's like he casts this magical spell on people through his words, the way he coins and phrases sentences, and then the vibration, his accent as well. So even our president, in my view, is a shaman in the way he is and shows up and speaks.
Yeah. Thank you for adding this to your explanation of
Yeah.
Irish shamanism. This is great. And in what way are the spirit of the land and our deities, if we can, say that too, um, are communing with us right now? How are they, working with us, or what do they demand of us, or what is the work we need to do?
Mm, I love that question. Yeah, so the spirit of the land, I feel for me it was first activated in Scotland once the shaman in me was awakened and was calling me to come dance and acknowledge these invisible forces, which I think you mentioned in your introduction as well, the invisible that's all around us, that so many of us feel and connect with and perhaps see and hear as well. And uh, I personally feel, because of the magical nature of Ireland and her emerald crystalline heart that is so pure and pulsating peace, actually, that these and the fairy realm, the fairy beings, that people who come to Ireland or connect with Ireland through shamanic journeys, they feel this, like for me personally, I feel this this opening within me. And so much has played out in the land of Ireland through colonialism over eons, to be honest, not just in recent history. And there have been many battles fought. There's been enforced famine and great hungers. And these still sit upon the land in many, many places, places I've gone to visit and felt such density and restriction from certain parts of Ireland that I've personally gone to. So I feel the spirit of the land is calling us home. And this is across the globe, is calling us home to the places where we feel called for the healing to continue and for us to help accelerate this healing through our human vessels, through our forms, through feeling the magic and feeling the density and crying the tears of grief of what's played out over the eons, releasing that and creatively expressing that through the arts, through speaking, through the vibration of our voice, through writing, you know, all these creative ways, music. So I feel the spirits of the land are rising so strongly now. And people, so many, like there's so many people that come to me and go, I want to go to Ireland, take us there, or connect in a meditation, in a journey, or through the different deities. And one of the key starting points for me was learning and or remembering the Celtic medicine wheel and building relationships with the different goddesses and gods and deities and elemental beings that are so alive and so animated in the land.
And how do you think all this can feed our spirituality?
Mm. Oh, yes. It, for me, it's changed everything, especially as being coming from the corporate, I say especially, but coming from the corporate world where there wasn't time for the stories. And personally, there wasn't time for the spiritual. I didn't create that space for the spiritual at that stage. So, yeah, for me, it is everything actually that activates and animates my DNA and my cell and the gold within me. It's like the awakenings, different awakenings and activations I've had. It's been like it's the spontaneous spark of fire that I feel within me, or it's that gush and surge of grief that has to flow out from me. So it's like it's all consuming in a good way. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your
Yes,
question.
absolutely. No,
Like
thank you.
every part of me personally now that yeah, showing up, being the storyteller, acknowledging the shaman in me as well as the witch, the wise one, the Magdalene, all of this, acknowledging all of this wisdom that must, and I say must, be remembered now, because
Yeah.
it's all a key factor in co-creating this new earth, this ancient new earth. And it's 333 as I'm saying this, which is such a beautiful numeric kind of,
Yeah, yeah,
yes, the
yeah.
triple spiral, the trilogy. Oh, say it 3 times and it is done by the power of 3.
Beautiful alignment.
Yeah.
What I hear in what you say, and what you just said, is also the equilibrium.
Mm,
As I describe your work, right? So you found this equilibrium in your life. So there's room for everything, right?
yes.
Your spirituality, room for your work, room for spending time in nature. It's kind of, I hear the flow, I hear the
I
balance.
love that. I love that. And that is the walking of the wheel, the stepping onto the spiral, is living and flowing with each of these seasons
Yeah.
in every moment. Yeah, I love that reflection. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And going a little deeper into the topic. So, what's your dream or vision in taking, inspired action right now? Can you share more?
Yeah.
Mm.
So we all, of course, will have the different dreams. Some of them will overlap and weave and connect, and others will be very different. And I feel for me, I'm stationed here geographically now in Scotland, with my connection, deep connection to Ireland as well, as being the bridge, as being the bridge for people to walk from where they are to where we're going in New Earth. So my dream is to be one of the many, many torch holders to remind people of the dream,
Mhm.
to remind people to dream as well. And in the awfulness of what's playing out in the world in any moment, there's also that real requirement to be strong within ourselves, to find that equilibrium that is so you so beautifully reflect, and to dream weave with our visions. And for me personally, then it's New Earth, which I call Tara, ancient New Tara, that it's where I've been in my shamanic journeys. It's where I know we are recreating again, is this lush green, like what's behind you there, this lush, leafy, beautiful green planet where the rivers flow clear with the pure crystalline waters, and where we walk along the unblocked clear ley lines to the bonfire of possibility at the threshold of our knowing in any moment. And it's a place where we're living again in community, where we're supporting each other and weaving the magic together, and that all the elementals, the fairy beings, the animals, they're no longer afraid of humans. They're no longer afraid, so they're all part and they show themselves to us and we commune and connect with them. They're all part of the magic in this magical new earth. And also that powers, all of our powers awaken and come back online now. All of our gifts, they're coming back.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, they 3 times. We welcome them back. Uh, in what you said about, you know, being in a difficult time right now, how do you think it is important to connect with those vision, with those um, messages that we receive to create, actions that will inspire us and others, because it's not just for us, it's to share. So that's how it works. Otherwise, it's not really complete. So uh, could you say a few words about that? How it is important right now
Yeah,
to be
that's
connected?
such a beautiful question. So for me, I've been walking with witch, which may, it has so many different connotations for people. And part of that has been healing the witch wound within me and supporting others and the collective. And you can keep going deep, 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 deep into that wound. And I have, and connected through many past lives. And at the same time, where I feel I'm being called now is to look, in a way, it's not turning away, it's to look, almost like look towards the sun and the light, and acknowledging all the pain and the heartache that people are experiencing and have experienced, working with that, healing that. And the courageous thing now is to remember the dream, remember why you're here and your mission and your purpose in this life. And it's like the eagle. It's like lifting. We have the power. We have the sovereign choice to lift ourselves up out of the density of 3D existence and gain this bird's eye perspective of the world that we must reweave now and connect with. And I feel like that for me has been one of the most courageous acts recently, to realize this and reconnect and re-remember that dream, and to honor the joy and the love and the light that's within me now, that wishes to ignite the same in others and for the collective. And I can actually feel my heart opening even more as I'm sharing that. And there may be those that, there are those that are called in all different directions to be stationed in different places and to be doing different work. And for me personally, it is, Eimear, dreamer, even my name rhymes with this, the dream, the dream. What is the dream now? And how are we going to weave this together? And and the right people and the right tribe are stepping in and already have.
Yes, thank you for this inspiring comment. And would you have a practice that you could recommend for some people have some experience and they can, sit in silence, and or whatever practice they have to receive, for people who have maybe haven't started yet to be with that wisdom that can be inspired literally. Could you give some ideas or recommendation suggestions?
Yes, yeah. What's coming to me now is a series of questions that I can pose. It's very short amount of questions. For me, I personally, like you picked up on the movement earlier, I love to go and walk in the woods, um, by me here, and connect in with the land and breathe, and all these simple practices. And um, when you're feeling in a very grounded place, these are some questions that you can walk with and allow to ferment and bubble within you, or pen and paper. You can journal with these. They are so journaling questions. And so I was talking about the dream. So the first question is, what kind of dream is your dream now, in this moment? What kind of dream is your dream? And when you're going on this contemplative journey or journaling, go with what comes up, and allowing your critique mind to relax a bit, and be as creative and metaphoric, because this is an invitation to step into the metaphoric realm as well.
Mm.
And when that is your dream, is there anything else about that dream now, when this is your dream?
Beautiful.
And does your dream have a size or a shape
Mm.
when this is your dream? And where are you now when that is your dream and this is your dream? Where are you? And is there a relationship between you and your dream now? And just notice. Now, final question. What would you like to have happen when this is your dream? And that helps guide you into your next step or action from that.
Mm.
So notice with an open heart what emerges. These are soul-based coaching questions that connect with the language of your soul.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing those beautiful tools. And you mentioned something that's very interesting and I think very powerful in the practice you recommend, is to not comment, not judge, which is hard when we don't have that practice, but it's very essential, right? To let the inspiration come through without judging. I think it's
Yeah, it's huge. And that's been a huge journey for me as well, because gosh, so quick to critique. "Oh, or to second guess, or and this, like our soul really wants to support us in this journey. It's shamanic in this journey. Oh, it's trusting that what arises in the moment is the right thing. And
yeah,
that's the divinity of being here now.
yeah. Yeah, there's this again, we talk about the movement inside, but also outside, right? When we align with that, when we welcome it, there are things that are in those inspired action that can unfold in a more easy way or uh, very unexpectedly as well, or faster than we thought it could come, right? There's this whole movement once we um, once we welcome the inspired action and we put it into being. It's like it's the project itself is being supported by those invisible forces of nature, forces of life, right?
Yes. Yes. And the wind is howling outside, like in agreement. It's like, yes, yes. And it's in that moment of hand on heart and belly and going, what would I like to have happen now?
Mm.
Because for many, and it's my experience that we give so much. Oh, we show up and give so much, and it's taking that time to go, well, what is it I need now in this moment? And creating and taking action from that point. I think that's been one of my biggest lessons, really, as my masculine and feminine are coming back into balanced equilibrium. Because I've been so used to action, action, what's next, and getting frustrated when the ideas aren't coming. It's not working out. Okay, remember, what's my dream now?
Mm.
Has it changed? Oh, it has. Okay, what kind of dream is it? And going back on the next spiral of these questions.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing about your path and your experience in that, because yeah, it takes a little bit of um, silence. It takes some not wanting to rush. It asks us to act a little differently.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And there's the letting go as well of everything that we've known,
Mm.
of all that we've known. As one of my friends says, that's the Hopi prophecy of letting go of the riverbank
Mm.
and falling back into the river so the river can take us to the destination.
Mm.
And that's been a challenge for me to let go again and again. And then the new comes in. You go, wow, all this whole world exists over here. Or a new person steps in, or a new project, or a new event, a new opportunity.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's so much magic in that, in the silence and being in that space. I know so many people say it, and still being in that space of silence.
Yeah.
So the new messages can drop in.
Yeah. And yeah, and it feels like you've been asked to pay attention in a very big way, and so thank you for your commitment.
Mhm. Thank you too.
Yeah, thank you. And is there anything else you would like to share about inspired action?
I feel what's coming to me is that it's trusting for people, and when you get the nudges and the messages, it's to go to these places. And
Mm.
whether that is being exactly where you are, where you live, where you are, or to travel, to journey to the sacred sites, or connect with different teachers, to do the course that's calling you, to take the train journey. You know, it's to trust that these inklings and
Mm.
nudges and messages are exactly the seeds that are being planted that you are to follow that trail.
Yes.
But that's the fun, that's the excitement, even though we're not being shown the whole picture. It's the fun of going, okay, this, and then something new will open up. So it's trusting that, because we're all in this together. Oh, we're all experiencing the humanity, the duality, and the divinity of it all.
Yeah. Thank you. And now, would you like, since you've been sharing about courses, and
Yeah.
could you please share a little bit about what you have, upcoming, that anything about your work you like to share with all of us today?
Yeah. So I have it's available anytime. I offer sacred storytelling sessions. So if people feel called to work with me one-on-one, that's an opportunity to step into and working in a similar way to the questions that I shared in that practice, to really connect with your dream. And also I've got an event coming up in August, the beginning of August, and it's a sacred storytelling retreat in Ireland, in
Mm.
Armagh, Northern Ireland, Navan Fort, which is the place of this amazing, powerful horse goddess called Macha,
Mm.
she who could run faster than any horse in Ireland. And yeah, that's sacred storytelling, offering people to connect with the land and with the stories of these lands, and also with their own sacred story as well. And I'm co-hosting that with the beautiful shamanic energy healer Petra Carroll, who actually lives on these sacred lands too. So yeah, it's all on my website if people want to feel into whether you're being called.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing this beautiful event. And um, I want to come.
Yeah, come to Ireland. She is calling you, if she is calling you, yes.
Yes, I'll definitely come soon.
Yeah, we will meet in
Yeah,
person
in
one day.
person. Yes. Uh, Thank you so much for sharing about your work, for sharing about, this important um, experience. It's really a gift uh, to 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 offer ourselves, to listen and to create. And you've been doing that. So thank you so much for being such a wonderful example of what's possible, and sharing it with others. And you have one more gift for,
Yeah.
for our audience, and it will be on the conference website. And if you can please share a little bit about it. So your beautiful gift is called Fantastic Trailblazer. So
Yeah, yeah. Aren't we all? Yes. And this is a journey to meet with the Cailleach witch. And the Cailleach is actually the Irish word for witch.
Mhm.
So she is the ancient creator of the Celtic lands. So it's an invitation for you, if you so dare, to step into the journey and learn about her story, and then go on a journey with her deep into the portals of your soul wisdom.
Thank you again for this gift. Everybody will enjoy. Thank you. Thank you, Eimear. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you so much. And many blessings to all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eimear. Thank you.